Hey, so welcome to our second asynchronous activity. Today we are going to be looking at negative space drawing. It's the second drawing technique that I'm teaching you. It's something you can use in conjunction, that means with, your blind contour. But hopefully, after we get these few techniques under our tool belt, we don't totally forget about them, and we can apply them in some drawings that we're going to make. So definitely do your best. Definitely keep drawing. I hope you enjoy the demo. I like doing these exercises. I think it's nice to be able to move the pencil on the paper. And yeah, you're drawing, but it's not. You're not, trying to impress anybody but yourself. When you do drawings that are for you, it's like you're almost like you're experimenting, and you're figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I think that you need to have both. You need to have drawings that you're going to show off, your masterpieces, so to speak. But I think that a lot of times we forget that some of the best work is the work we do just for us. So I hope that you can get in that headspace where we're working hard, we're focused, but we're also non-judgmental. It's a really special thing. So enjoy the demo, and we will see you at our Google Meet on Thursday. All right, welcome back, guys. So today we are going to learn our second drawing technique. So for example, yesterday was blind contour. When you only work on your drawing without looking at the drawing and only looking at the object or picture, that is a blind contour. And typically blind contour is thought of as an exercise. But just like any drill you might do for band or for sports, they have applications in like making a drawing. So yesterday was blind contour, and obviously if you're working on a drawing to show off, you're not gonna like attempt to do it without looking at your piece of art. But there is value to when you're working like for 30 seconds, okay, you draw without looking at your work. Or maybe for like a minute, or because one of the things that happens is you get so wrapped up in your own drawing, in your drawing, that you forget to look at your subject. So today's exercise is called negative space drawing, and what we're going to do is we're not going to draw the object, we're going to draw the space around it. So if I have this marker is like the object, okay? We would draw the space around it, like all this, all this space. It takes a minute to wrap your head around it, but once you do, it's a really powerful tool. And using all these exercises, I call them exercises, but they're techniques, together, you can actually use them to kind of check your work. Kind of like in math class where like your teacher said, well, how do you know you're right? Well, here's how you figure it out. You check your work by either putting the steps in reverse, or I don't know, not a math teacher. So let's begin. What I'm going to do, I'm drawing the vases or faces, and I am going to, so this is a fun one because the image on the left is the image you should try to draw, and then the image on the right is the solution. So this is kind of a warm-up. So when you guys do this, definitely keep your eyes on the image to the left. So the first thing you do with any good negative space drawing, and I'm working in blue, and I'm going to go back over it in dark black. This marker is as close to non-photo blue as I can get. Non-photo blue is a type of ink that animators use so that they can draw and put in their layouts, their light work when they're still troubleshooting, and then when they Xerox their work, the non-photo blue doesn't show up, only the lines they go over. So this is kind of my way of giving myself every chance to get this right. So like I said, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to estimate the height-width relationship. So the space around the vase seems to be a rectangle that is about twice as tall as it is wide, maybe a little less. So I'm going to estimate that, all right? And this is one of the, like, seriously, like, take your time with this. This is a super great way to improve your drawing because, you know, this is a difficult thing we're doing. We're taking something and either copying it, or we're taking something that actually exists in 3 dimensions and translating it to 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm going to carefully, now I'm looking, this isn't blind contour. I'm going to look, and I'm going to kind of draw, and what I want to do is I like to work on both sides at once sometime. Well, let's see. This one's going to be a little different than the source image. So I'm working on both sides at once, and I try to like get it to mirror. So this would, if this went in, this would go in, and then we got it coming down to here. All right, and then I'm going to swoop it back. Swoop it back. So mine's going to be a little narrower than the source image. Remember that this isn't copying class. This is art class. So if you don't get it absolutely perfect, that's okay. I'd rather it be like your best than like a copy of someone else's best. And then so we got this, so that would angle there. Cut out, zip, zag, there, and then let's go like that. All right, so there is my vase. I'm going to go ahead and cap up my blue, and I'm going to go back in, and I am going to just kind of try to give this a final pass over. This is like the most rewarding part. Here we go. All right, and we'll close up the, let's see, yep, got that about right. My lines are kind of wobbly, no points off for that. Because again, this is an exercise. It's meant to kind of like help your brain figure out how things work. And I think I don't want to color it all in. So instead of putting in a flat tone, I'm going to put in a hatch, which is just a series of straight lines meant to kind of, it tells you which is the positive space and which is the negative space. And, you know, if this were a traditional drawing, the vase would be the positive space, and the space around it would be the negative space. But this is, you know, we're drawing the opposite. It's like a photo negative. So there we go, mission accomplished. Thumbs up, woohoo, gold star. So let's go to the next image. Oh goodness, all right, so we have these, this is a tricky one. This is the forest, the winter forest, and it looks like maybe it's on a lake or something. So definitely going to switch back to my blue. Definitely going to start to estimate my height and width relationship. So I'm noticing that it is a very long picture. So I'm going to kind of bring that out, and then I'm thinking if I look, this is almost twice as wide as it is tall. So whatever, you know, this length right here should be the same as this, maybe even shorter. So we're just going to do that. All right, and this is probably like when I do this exercise, like, you know, I always want to have a nice picture. Everybody wants to draw a nice picture, but it's this initial step that I think I get the most out of, because, you know, you really got to think like, what is going on in this picture? You know, is it like so? Anywho, so I'm gonna say that the first tree. All right, so I'm gonna just to guide myself, I'm gonna draw in the ground line. So that line that of like pure white, I'm gonna put that in, because that is going to help me break apart the page. And I might actually bring this up a little bit too. I think, there we go. All right, so now I think it was actually a little too long. So now you'll see. So we are going to draw the negative space. So I am looking, and I think from here down, we'll actually, like, I don't know, those branches are crazy. So we'll kind of bring this down, just go straight, look over, and then the height width relationship on these trees are really important too. You want to make sure that you're not drawing them too wide. That is the tendency I've seen, and I'm not trying to get these bumps in the bark exact, but I'm trying to do it justice. We're not drawing, metal poles, we're drawing trees. So there we go. And then I am going to look over here, and it looks like way below that, about, maybe not way below, looks like that. Okay, to go over, back, kind of got like a zigzag to it. And then I think the important thing to note is that that tree it terminates higher. So, and that tells you a few things about it. It tells you that it's further back in space, and it looks like it would be the same size tree, but it is definitely further back in space. Alright, and we'll do kind of one of those guys. And I'm going to cluster these branches. The branches that are small, that could become really overwhelming. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to make the branches all one. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. So it's just there's so many of them. So I'm just kind of doing the outline of the branches. And it's almost like we're drawing the trees as if they were in bloom. Yeah, it's wintry trees. But who's to say we artists can't decide that it is a sunny day? And then, okay, so I'm picking it up. I'm back over at the other tree. And I'm kind of looking at that window of space between them. And I'm noticing that that window between the two trees is quite a bit taller than it is wide. I'm also noticing this tree I'm working on right now. It is just a little bit, it's probably in the middle of this tree and that tree. I'm gonna take care of those height width relationships. It'd be really easy to draw the line here, but then it'd be way too wide. And then from there, let's see, about the same. We got a branch that comes off, goes up. Oh, now this one's great. Now this guy over here, you'll notice it is a lot wider than the other trees, and it is also closest to the bottom of the page, which tells us, the artist, a few things. Most importantly, though, that it is the biggest tree. Well, it's not the biggest tree. I take that back. It is the closest tree to the viewer. If you can manage the scale of your objects in a way that tells the viewer what is close and what is far, you are going to be very, very successful. And then we'll go back down, and it looks like we have two. Now they look thin, but we know better. We know that they're not super thin. It's that they're far away. They're further away than the others. So there we go. So I drew the trees. I drew the megaspace. Now I'm going to go in. I'm gonna clean it up. And what I want you to know is, you could go up here, and let's find a good example of this. You could, if you wanted to, try to draw all the negative space between all the branches. Don't let me discourage you. I just drew that triangle for the negative space. But I think that, again, it's how much time do you need to spend on this to get the, positive benefit of the exercise? And I think that it's, I think it's really hard to draw those branches, And I don't think, unless you're doing like a photorealistic thing where you're trying to copy the photo exactly, and that's a great way to draw, I don't think that you need to copy the photo exactly. I'm a big believer in, the photo is our sheet of music, and we're the artist, and every artist has a different voice. Some voices are high, some are low, but it's important to not, put yourself in this position where, like, just because you can't get something exactly, you're feeling bad. That's no bueno, no good. So there we go. So I've drawn my, all right, and then I'm gonna kind of do one of these guys. Gotta get the frame in, and I am going to block in that negative space with a hatch. Gotta use the whole arm. This is fun. This is a great drill if you do it right, because you gotta lift. You really gotta pay attention to what you're doing, and I guarantee that if it's your first time trying it, it's very likely that you will go over one of your trees. Because I've been doing this for a while, and I still hit the tree sometime, and it's like, such pain. But the thing is, you want to, like, this is your time to get it right. Okay, this is your time. This is hatching. This is a great time to practice hatching so that when you do have a nice drawing you're working on, you can get it correct. Don't put yourself in a position where, you're showing up to game day and you haven't been to practice. It's, when you're an artist, it's like anything else you want to be good at. Oh, this is slop. All right, right in the middle of my speech of how good things should be, I do those. Anywho, you want to make sure that you practice because you don't want to go into things unprepared. So there we go. It's been 15 minutes, and I have a slideshow attached, and it has 4 total images. So I've demonstrated 2. I would like you to take a shot at all 4. And once you've done all 4, you are good to go. I would say each one of these you should spend 5 minutes on. If you can hit that 5-minute target, great. If you go a little over 5 minutes, I won't tell if you don't. But do tell your parents. Don't keep secrets from your parents. So I hope you guys enjoyed the demo. I hope you guys enjoy the work. And if you can enjoy the work, you will get better. And if you get better, you'll be happy. So take it easy. We will see you at our meet on Thursday.